What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. The ONYXCON Foundation. You know what I mean? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? Again, I'm Joseph R. Wheeler III. Yes. It's an interesting day today. Saturday, sun done finally came back out through these clouds. I mean, it looked like it could rain later, but at least it's not raining now. We're getting some sunshine. That's what we need. I can't do them back to back rainy days, man. Them back to backs. I understand we need rain. I'm not saying that. I'm with that, but damn, can we do it at night? I would love. I need to look that up because I'll be using a lot of Chat GPT and other AI stuff to ask questions I've always pondered and get secure answers, and and reference the answers I get to make sure it's on point. But I wonder what places in the world, besides ones I'm already aware of, have the most daylight sunshine and rain only at night. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere where you just wake up every day to a sunny day. As I'm saying this, I'm thinking California. Where else? Southern California. I mean, like every time I'm in LA, in the probably how many times have I been? Man, off the top of my head, I'd say I've been to LA probably 6, 7 times, somewhere like that. Maybe more than that, honestly. I'm trying to think how many times. It's almost impossible to remember, but it could be 8 times. But the bottom line is, I only remember rain maybe twice. So the song, "It Never Rains in Southern California." Shout out to Tony. And they tell me it never rains in Southern California. That is the truth. It really doesn't rain like that. Now, in recent years, they've been getting more because I got friends that live out there and family that live out there. They tell me, oh, yeah, we got way more rain. So everything's switching with, the balance of stuff or whatever. But when I tell y'all, it would never rain when I was out there. So I got used to that. So if it were, and they're used to that. So if it rains a little bit, I'm talking about drizzle, people be running like the way we do in Atlanta when it's snowing or ice. That's not our weather typically. So yeah, people run to the grocery store. People make fun of us. Everybody want to come from everywhere else and live here, but they want to make fun of us when they get here. And what's stupid is the folk you making fun of is just more people from out of town mostly, because all y'all doing the same damn thing we all doing. We all. Because the reality is, yes, they're going to shut stuff down. So you ain't going to be able to go back out. So you better get it now or you're going to be locked in without it. You know what I mean? That's real talk. That is real talk. Oh, my goodness. Let me see. While I'm at this light, I slipped. I usually have my subscribers only for the chat. Now you should know. Well, I appreciate that. Uh, somebody's, I mean, it was a whole lot of words that, it didn't really, but somebody said they have a question. Well, shit, you just come out with the question because, you had your moment. If you ain't a subscriber, I can't see it no way. But anyway, now that I set up my proper buttons and everything. But somebody else said, pin the Explorer, salutations, okay, greetings, extended at an elevated scholarly register, acknowledging your presence with this intellectual exchange with utmost academic decorum and refined civility. Somebody's either trying to be funny or they recognize that that's the only way to be on my channel if you come in to say something for real talk. I don't know, but I'm hey, well-spoken bunch of stuff to say what? Because you didn't ask nothing. You did say greetings, so I appreciate that, and we will salute the greetings, and the fact that you want to be known as coming with all the right attitude. But I'm still wondering what was it you wanted to ask. You know what I mean? Like it's like two people are asking. One saying I got a question and didn't ask it. The other one gave a great intro and no questions. So I mean, what can I do, y'all? What can I do? I don't know what you want. I don't, oh my gosh, have mercy. But I do. I really appreciate you throwing the big words up in here. I mean, it's not big to me, but some of these people, you got them scratching their heads still. He said decorum. What is decorum? You know, some of them still scratching their head, homie. They can't hang with them kind of words. They're not ready. You know. Hey, some of these folks, they xenophobic towards intellectualism. You understand what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying, player? Yeah, we can go there all day. You know what I'm saying? Break out the SAT words. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I'd rather that any day than a bunch of suckers trying to troll and crap. That's the ones gonna get knocked off. But everybody else is welcome. I appreciate that good energy all day. You know. Anyway, and I got about 2 more minutes before I had to hop out the car and cut this one off and then come back. And it always happens when I get an audience. Look at that, 13 people in the building. But it don't matter because y'all ain't hitting no thumbs up no way. Y'all ought to know by now. Thumbs up. As soon as I said I'm about to leave and be back, that didn't mean I'm not coming back. That just means I'm working, people. I'm working. I'm always working. I'm getting tired of saying that when it comes to this type of work. I don't mind working. I'm a work. I'm a man. I'm a work for mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out there and get it. I'm gonna go get it because that's what we go do. All the phrases, right? But gotta go get that paper, 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 paper. The more you say it, that's supposed to mean something. Don't worry about the bills, man. Please. I just need more subscribers and more watch time. That's what I need. That's what I did. I want to see. Like you say, what I do. I want to see what that AdSense do. That's what I want to live. I want to live that life. I want to see what that AdSense do. And I don't want to hear from nobody else's perspective because I watch my other favorite YouTubers and they all complaining about, oh man, YouTube don't pay like it used to. The key word you said pay. You didn't say it don't pay. You said like it used to. Like it used to means you still getting a check. I need a check. Somebody cut a check. You understand? That's what time it is, baby. We need the checks. Hey, I'm not too proud. I'm not one of these folk pretending like money ain't money. All money is good money. You understand? If it's coming my way and if it's well. Right, everybody. All right, all right, all right. We back. As soon as I click back, I'm gonna act like talking to my GPS for a minute. I'm trying to get it to act right, man. God, get on my nerves daily with this. Ooh. Okay. So yeah, y'all. I just know that people be talking about YouTube this, YouTube that. Hey, we all go through it with these apps, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. If you done already made it over the hump, if you already got AdSense, just be considerate of those of us who don't, and don't talk that talk like you ain't making no money at all. Like if you making some money for your effort and your time being on this thing, and we all know that they make more than we'll ever see from the ads they put on our content because they start putting it on there even before your channel is monetized. I know that for a fact. Whenever I look at my stuff, that has any decent amount of numbers on it, it's always got an ad on it before the video starts. So even though I'm not in the AdSense program yet, they already making money on my content. So, we'll never see all of it, but at least if you're getting something, don't be throwing it in. It feels like it's not intentional, but it feels like throwing it in the face of the people who trying to get there, man. Like just think about the stages. I sometimes think all the time. I think the reason I have not reached my financial pinnacles, plural, is because I think life just wants to make sure I really, 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 the universe wants me to really, really, really appreciate the journey. And when I get there, never forget what it took to get there so that when I speak, I'm always conscious of the person who's out here doing what I'm doing right now. Got these little, crazy jobs that even with this, like I even think to myself, hey, my car done got old, man. My vehicle's old. I really need a new one, but it's functional. Like I can't really complain. Like it's got issues, but the issues are not in the way of me. Knock on everything. Please keep working. You know what I'm saying? It's not in the way of me making a living. So I get something. I get by. I get through. You know what I mean? And so for that, I gotta be real. It's like, yo, there's people who don't have that. There's people who waiting at a bus stop right now and the bus done broke down. How do I know? Because I did that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, the difference in my life is I ain't the person just talking ish like I can't relate. No, I've been there too, player. I've been there too. Hot as hell outside, cold as hell outside. Did it all, did it all. I done that. I don't walk miles to get to shit to get home. Hell with the bus or the train, just bumping. I'm gonna walk. I done that. I done that. I done them little cardboard things they put all the shipments of canned goods in. I'm about to miss my turn. Damn. Skirt. And I don't even know how many they fit in the average one, but I'm talking about walking down the street. I don't even know how I did this, but I had something I was carrying that was heavy, and then I was balancing the corn and stuff because it was at least wrapped in plastic so it wasn't gonna fall out. It was canned corn. I remember that, and I had it on my head, doing it old school style like they do in many countries throughout the African diaspora in places where like, yo, you run out of places to hold stuff, something heavy, put it on top of your head and you walk it. And I realized why people do that from doing it. It's like if you can balance it, it's not as heavy and it lightens the load. And it's just as long as you keep your head straight, and don't be doing no sudden moves, you good. And you might put a hand up there to hold it a little bit. I wasn't just like walking with it on my head like a hat. I was holding it too, but I'm saying I done some stuff, man, to get by, to do, figured it out. So I relate to the struggle for real. But at the same time, I don't come from the worst struggles. And I never would say I did or want to. There's nothing I'm trying to prove. Here, let me get that on my resume. Came from the hood and the worst. No, not at all. Not at all. But I done been in some environment. Hell, I done taught in Section 8 apartments. I done taught in reform centers and stuff. I done dealt with all that stuff, man. All that stuff. All over Atlanta. Every part. Metro, for real, for real. But so when I'm doing what I'm doing now, even like there's days like this where I would rather be doing the other stuff I'm really here to do. But I'm humble enough to realize, yo, man, I could be in a situation where you can't. You up against the clock, but eviction and drama. We back, y'all. We back. Get this one out and go get another order, man. Got one more drop on this route. All right, so what I've been building up to saying, aside from all the, being thankful for what I have, even when I wish I had more, is, I'm not small-minded by no sense of the word at all. I've never been. I can't be that way. Thank goodness for the way, from who I was born to, my parents, and how they raised me, and also just my natural character. I was born to be someone of esteem, greatness, reach levels unheard of, right? And I've had an idea that I'm not going to fully elaborate on. I'm just going to speak around it because what I got to say about this way of thought could just help somebody else who might be feeling the same way. If you're creative, if you're somebody who thinks outside the box, if you're somebody who has great vision, who has the ability to imagine something that does not exist and work towards every bit of the goals, there's more than one, plural, required to pull off something that's going to have not only impact on your life, but multiple lives. Now, see, I've already accomplished that at various times in my life, but things have changed, and I don't do what I used to do the same way. I do it the way I'm doing right now. I do a lot of YouTube. I'm on an app called Fanbase you should know about. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all of these different apps, and that is the network of ONYXCON. I call it a network. It truly is the ONYXCON network. That's the umbrella for us on social media. And within that network, you can also count all of my friends and family who are a part of the organization one way or another, who've ever been a part of it, who've ever helped, who've ever, whether it was when we had the official convention going or when we transitioned over to everything being online. But I can tell you from experience, y'all, once you shut something down that has had so much impact for so many years, I learned that people don't necessarily, they don't adjust with you. They should. They should be realistic enough to understand, yo, man, people's lives are changing. Uh, People want more out of their life than what you may know them for. And they always did. They always had other sides to their existence, and they just didn't share their whole reality with you. They shared parts that were relevant to the part that you fell in love with. You know, that you love this event, you used to like coming to the convention, you like doing this, you like doing that. And people got used to that, and they want it to always be. People get real comfortable. They start thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to always be here. But the only people who are realistic about that are those who understand these things cost. In a capitalist system, you gotta pay to enjoy this. You know, you gotta help people to keep this alive, especially when you see it's not. When you walk into something like what we used to do when we were doing the event, there were very few years where on the flyer I had sponsors, and when I did have sponsors, you saw those logos on the flyer. It was really nice logos, really cool people stuff on my flyer, and it always felt good to me to see that row of. When you start seeing them sponsors, man, it's like, yo, man, I'm cooking, man. I'm doing this for real. This is serious. This is happening. I got people to put money down or say that they're going to do this thing for me and that thing for me. So I put their put their logo on my flyer, blah, blah, blah. That's all fine and good. But that kind of money is just for the moment. It's cool. It gets it done. You finish what you started. You did the first level of you did an event. Now you're doing something that has daily impact, constant growth, constant impact, and can pull in constant funds and people supporting it regularly, not just seasonally. Then you got to do some things differently, and you got to align yourself with more than just a bunch of people who oftentimes want to come to the party but don't want to help clean up nor set up. I'm gonna say that again. People who want to come to the party but do not want to help set up nor clean up. They here for a good time, not a long time, and they're not gonna be around when it's time to make time for the next time because they don't understand that the cleanup and the setup are what makes the next one possible. If you don't make that process easier every time, if you don't make that flow better every time, you will see that your grassroots organizations and things will fall apart or will diminish in the way that you were used to them being. They may not fall apart because my shit never fell apart. I kept going. I just faced the reality of what kind of event I was doing, and it made no sense to keep trying to pull off something so absorbent without proper financial stability. There was no choice in the matter. It's either you gonna do this or you gonna be under a bridge somewhere telling somebody, I'm telling you, man, we used to do that thing. We used to do that thing. Yeah, that's all fine and good, but now you ass out because you didn't have you need. You better make sure you good. Like they tell you on an airplane, they say, yo, it's hard to hear that. And everybody used to always hear that and think, damn, that's kind of cool. Like, I didn't understand it when I was young. Till I got older and I understood. But they say, if you have a child with you and we have an emergency and planes going down or something going crazy, and those air devices pop out the ceiling and you got to add a little respirator to breathe, get yourself a little whiff before you put it over your. If you pass out and they don't know how to do it. You understand? So if your concern is, I want to keep this baby alive, you got to keep yourself alive to keep the baby alive. It's crazy because your natural instinct, no, it makes sure the baby good. And even as I'm saying that, the average person, I've always said in my real, and who knows, I don't never want to have that feeling ever. I don't never want to know what that test is. But I can imagine myself holding my brother. I can go, but But I guess, and I wish they would say that. Like, if you're an adult that knows how to hold their breath, do that and then get away so you don't, because we know you're gonna probably do that first. Because yeah, the bottom line is you gotta get your if you don't even hold your breath first, you're still not thinking about yourself. In the moment of panic, you don't even think to hold your own breath for a minute to reserve your air, and then do the other thing. You're still missing the point. That's all it is. The point is self-preservation so that you can preserve anything else. You ain't gonna be able to make it if you can't survive. Period. In anything, and everything. So thanks for the three. I see y'all. I see y'all for real. Three thumbs up. Appreciate you. That's the real ones right there. That's the monetization nation, as I call them. My subscribers, my people who for real. My people who understand. They give me air every time they press that button and show love and watch more minutes, and it adds up to watch time hours, and we're gonna get this monetization. You understand? That's the ones right there. They understand the plan. Thank you so very much. It's because of you. ONYXCON is still here and will be here forever. Forever, ever, and ever. We will be here forever. Anybody know that quote? RS1? Love that album. We will be here forever. Get what I'm saying? Forever and ever and ever and ever. We will be here forever. I love that. I love that. Oh man, oh man. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna be right back. Yeah, y'all. Hope y'all went and watched some long content as I requested. Help the channel out. Watch something longer than I love when y'all watch me live because it used to be long. But if I'm getting out doing orders and stuff, give you something else to watch while you waiting on me to come back like this. But yeah, watch the long content. Please watch the long content, Kitty. If you don't get out the road, damn, Lord have mercy. Somebody cat all in the road, all up in the road. Which way should I go? Should I go that way? This way. Yeah, y'all. Got me another order shopping. I ain't gonna even front, man. I'm really exhausted with the process. That's what I was really getting at even earlier when I was talking about how, hey, I'm happy to have work. I'm not complaining about work. I'm just happy to be able to pay my damn bills and stay functional. But it's the problem is life ain't life when you're just paying bills either. And that's what's starting to be the only reality for a lot of Americans. It's been one for most, but it's become the general way it is. And that shit sucks. Okay? I get tired of that, man. You wanna, wants to feel fly, have a day off, put on your best duds and go out. I'm passing by a situation right now, a bunch of people out, everything, you know. And it's like, it's a harsh reality. Because even the ones that go out, they may pretend like everything's good. A lot of them ain't doing so great. They just want to look like, yeah, nothing's changed. We still go out and eat every weekend and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care about going out to eat. I love cooking at home. Shit. I like knowing what's in my food and making sure I'm eating what I'm supposed to eat. For me, what I miss is just being able to go fishing. Just take more days off, not once per month maybe, or have a couple of good weeks and then suddenly something hit where financially I can't keep doing it had to take a long ass break, but I know I could like, man, certain days you just be like, man, they are biting so much today. You can feel them biting, you know what I mean? Saw one of my homies on Facebook, somebody I ain't seen in years. I was like, who is this? Caught all them, man. They had some slabs, as they say. Had a bunch. They had 22 crappie, nice ones too. I ain't talking about no small ones. I said, well, damn, where you at? And yeah, he was pulling them. He was pulling them. He had them on a stringer in the water. I said, good gracious. I mean, I'm talking about, you know what 22 crappie look like? That's a lot of fish. That's a lot of fish. I was like, well, damn, represent, brother. Get it like that. That's all right. So you gonna be eating 22 crappie? Hell, that's about 10 meals. You know what I mean? Two crabbies per plate on average. You know? Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I just exaggerated that, didn't I? Yeah, yeah. But no, I didn't. No, I think I did that just right. Yeah, I did that math right. I did that right. I'm not talking about. See, I'll be second guessing myself. I did that just right. 2 times 10 is 20 all day. 22 crabby. Come on, man. Twins. People be saying twin all the time for slang. I just saw two real twins. They're cute. Two young ladies. I'm talking about had the same hair and everything. Like, good gosh, I'm seeing double. Oh man. But I ain't gonna be on here much longer. I was just gonna say I got this concept, y'all, and I'm so proud of it because I've had it in my head for the longest. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. All y'all who hate AI just don't know how to use it. That's all I can say. That's really all I can say about it. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever and it should replace all of human ingenuity. Hell no. I mean, it wouldn't exist without human ingenuity, and it relies on consistent human ingenuity and update and forced changes and get this right, get that right. Don't do that, please. What are you doing? Why did you do that? I told you not to do. If it wasn't for us, it would never make good results, right? But when it gets good results, man, I'm telling y'all, I did something recently that really, really, really blew my mind again, because I've had this feeling before, and it's a real good feeling when you finally get what you were looking for. You know, when it gives you something that looks like what you have in your mind, or it takes you somewhere you didn't even think, but it's still within the realm, like right in the zone. It's right next door to what you wanted, and it's still just as good. And I dare say there have been the occasional better, like damn shit, I would have never even added that. That's amazing. What is that? You know, or whatever, right? But what I constantly say, the only way it gets better or at its best is if you already have an understanding of drawing, painting, sculpture, all the skills I have. I'm photography, everything I'm listening, I've done. That was my degree, my BFA was in everything I just said, printmaking too. So when I go at it, I apply everything I know about light and texture and form and all these things, and I demand that it stay within my parameters, and I use certain words and technological terms and things that I know it will possibly understand because I'm using the language of true visual artists that has been used for centuries and decades. I know it's going to hit when I say certain things, and it usually does. It usually gets it better when I use those kind of words. Um, for example, the phrase negative space, which is not technically, I never really liked that phrase because, we associate the word negative with something bad. It's not that. It's just, the gap between things, like the space around my head right now is the negative space. You know, if I do a O for ONYXCON, the space in between here is the negative space. So those spaces are just as important as the positive space. It's really more like looking at it like a photograph and an old photograph negative. When you had the contrast and the extreme of the dark and light areas of the photo, and you look at it in the light, you could tell, what was light because it'll look dark, and what was light because I mean, what was dark would look light, and what was light would look dark. And so, if you put in terms like negative space and things like that, it knows. It's because all it's going off of is history of those things to try to understand what you're asking. So when I said things like that, man, when I tell you I got some results that I'm just like, yo, I keep telling y'all, if you really love this channel, if you're really somebody who wants to rock with us and support us and see us win and make the dreams that I have in my head come true, now and every day, forevermore, is the time to not only subscribe, but if you really about that life, you are well spoken. You're not just somebody who's, not fully capable of expressing themselves, but somebody who is capable of expressing themselves professionally, send me an email. After you subscribe, I don't even want to see that unless you don't subscribe. Okay? Send me a screenshot that you subscribe. Be like this one person that I remember I was taunting them that, where if you want me to answer, they ask the question and something I didn't feel like answering one day or whatever. I can't even remember what it was to this day. But I teased him. I said, I don't get all that unless you're a subscriber. I need some funds, man. We trying to survive out here. He said, I'll help out. I said, well, okay, we'll do that, and then we'll see about some things. And sure as shit, they sent $20. And he said in the note, just so you know I'm real, because I was asking, are you real? And he was like, just so you know I'm real. I'm like, that's what's up, brother. Man, damn. To this day, whoever you were, and if you're still here, thank you. Those are the people right there. Those are the people that I'm talking about that help it make it be what it is and what it's going to be. Because talkers talk, but doers do. And they love to prove that they're doers. When they get challenged, they don't get offended. They understand it's a world full of so much bullshit that they got to prove themselves like anybody else. They're okay with that. They're okay with stepping up and being like, man, I understand what you're going through. I got you, though. Check your account. I said something. You know what I mean? And it was just like that. So, yeah, we got some things coming, y'all. I got so many. I'm talking about life journey plans that will include the benefit of everybody who supports. Because I do ONYXCON for the peoples all over the world, for everybody in the human family who's, worthy to reap the benefits of the best art life. That's what this is about. And like I said, I've had this huge, when I say huge, I've had this idea since college, quite frankly. This is nothing new. This is something that's been brewing in me for decades. That's crazy when I really think about it. And I've done drawings and illustrations here and there to depict some of what I see in my head, and I still would get kind of frustrated. As good of a drawer and illustrator as I am, anybody who does that work, and I'm talking about traditionally, not even so much digital, if at all digital. I'm talking about hardcore drawing, painting, etc. It's just different, man. Every time you set out to do something, that's why the work costs so much, because it takes so much time. Even if you've gotten so good at whatever your medium is, it's going to take you so much time to just formulate the idea in a way that you're satisfied enough to say, okay, pen to paper, it's time to go. And then even when you start the process, depending on who you are and how you work, I know painters. I was never that kind of painter. Once I start on one, I finish. I just got to keep going till I finish. I know painters that will work on 4 or 5 paintings at one time. And I respect their process too, because let's face it, like when they start to finish them, okay, last week I finished that one. This week I finished this one. Next month or so, I'm going to have 2 more. So that's 4 or 5 pieces getting done all within a season, if you will. Versus the way I would tend to work, I would go hard for once I really get on something, it's just all I can think about is that one thing. So I'm gonna be on it for a whole month, maybe 2, depending on how really big and whatever extravagant it was. Sometimes 3 months, but I would finish it. And then, but if it was a month, 2 months, 3 months, that's only one piece. So, like I say, I don't got no problem with anybody's process, whatever works for you. But I will say, this AI shit, oh my gosh, the ability to literally in seconds, I mean, you can count, you be like, man, that was under a minute. And sometimes it's over a minute, but most time it's under a minute. And you get these results that look like movies and shit. I mean, they look like, I mean, if you want that look, I always go for the realistic stuff mostly. Every now and then I do the cartoon stuff, but I don't really like, using it for cartoony stuff because I just feel like that I got a weird thing about when it's imitating a true drawing. I'm like, now, come on now, I draw now. So if I want a drawing, I'll draw. But I'm not all the way against it. You know, if I'm doing a scene that I want to, you know, I want a painting in the background, it looks like, okay, I might create that first and then put it in there. You know, or just take whatever they give me to set the mood because I'm looking for a scene. Like, you know, I'm like a director setting up a scene. As long as it fits the general look I'm, excuse me, going for, I'm not gonna make too much of a fuss about it. Because I know the average person ain't either. They're not gonna be looking at that. That's background. They're gonna be looking at the characters. So, you know, that's something that film taught me for real is, you know, how cutthroat it is about understanding people's real psychology about what they really pay attention to and what they don't, and the attention span of people. Like a lot of visual artists could benefit from being in the film biz long enough, whether they ever wanted to do that or not. I mean, everybody likes movies, everybody likes watching shows, but if you are a visual art, if you draw, you paint, and you're trying to understand how to get an audience and why certain people like your work and others ignore it, but you want more of the other people who are ignoring it to be a part of your audience and buy your work. Get on a film set, do some background work, do something in the film biz. And I'm gonna tell you something. That weird ass crazy world of I'm not saying it's all good. I don't like the cutthroat gatekeeping element of it and all that bullshit. I never like that and I never will. What I'm talking about though is there's a there's so many years of formula for film and television, what was created, good or bad, that because of what's been established, they just don't even, it's all against a clock of time and production cost. They don't argue what's going to work. They just do what they know the masses are going to go with. That's it. They don't care. It's like something that came up in a recent Cam Newton interview with that really was one of the best. He's done a lot of great ones, but I put that in my top 10 of his best interviews. But that one with Montel Jordan, man, that was, they dropped some stuff up in there. Oh my gosh, they dropped some stuff. But there was a point where Montel, you know, being an award-winning songwriter and singer and all these things he's done, Cam was asking him about the use of AI and how he feels about it. And he gave the typical answer where most people are right now, where they're like, I don't really know, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But he was asking me, have you heard some of the stuff, man, when it really does sound like a song sang by somebody and you actually start grooving to it and then you find out, wait a minute, that's AI. Like, this is Cam saying it more or less, you know, not a direct quote. And Montel was like, yeah, I've heard some, I know what you mean. I know that feeling when you are impressed. And he said, do you think that the average person listening to music nowadays is going to care whether or not it's real instrumentation or a real voice if they like the way it sounds? And, you know, they were both kind of going back and forth about it, kind of talking around it. And he just straight up, hey, Cam said, like, no, like, because, you know, Montel was given the respectful, I'm not going to completely omit AI, but I'm never going to give it the credit of human voice. And I agree with that. It's never going to outdo a human voice. Like, I'm already personally sick of, I hear stuff sometimes as soon as the song starts, I'm like, oh, god damn, another one of them AI songs. It's like, yeah, it sounds good enough that the first time you heard it, you're like, I can't believe this is a real person. It's not a real person because it's familiar tones, values, stuff you're used to. Like, oh, this is an R&B song. Okay. You know, same old shit you are. You're used to certain notes. So as soon as you hear it, you're like, all right, okay, what you talking about now? You know, start doing all that old stuff. You know, in the black community, we gonna relate to it and shit. But as soon as you start sounding like every other one, but it's just the lyrics are different, like, oh my gosh. And then the ones that I really hate are the ones that sound like everybody's trying to sound this modern synthesized. And when I say modern, I mean like they do all the little fucking Drake sounds and shit that I hate. Like he ain't the one who invented it, but he the one who over obsessed it. That uh yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, uh yeah. God damn. Oh man, before they start singing, they always gotta yeah. And you know I love you, girl. I need you. Yeah. Uh. Like I don't need the damn yeah and us, but it automatically thinks, well, that worked. We've got sales. We don't want to hear no debate over what Joseph thinks about. He don't like that, and a whole bunch of other people agree with him because those whole bunch ain't enough to counter these millions that then skyrocketed this dude into new sales again with this bullshit ass. Iceman album that I have not listened to but once and hated it because it was just that lackluster to me, quite frankly. And that's not because I'm just a Drake hater. I like some Drake. So I got my top 5 Drake songs of all time that I still would rock to. Started from the bottom. I like that shit. I like my probably my absolute favorite, him and Breezy with that joint. Trip so great and you got it, girl, you got it. I love you got it, girl. I love that shit. I love that shit. I know it's not the name of the song, but I love that shit. That's one of my jams. It's classic. And I don't care about the beef and all that because I'm still with Kendrick all day. But yo, good music is good music, and I like the way it makes me feel when I hear it. It gives me nostalgia because I remember where I was at that time. I remember my vibe I had with the ladies in my life. Man, that's all that matters, man. That's all to be mattering sometimes. So even that just gets back to the point he was making. Like, look, it's gonna come down to, do people like the way it sounds? And if their answer is yes, it don't matter that you don't like it or don't think it's artistically inclined.